Bismillah, alhamdulillah, salatu assalamu rasulillah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to day 15 of the 19 days of COVID-19 video series. And today it is all about you. In fact, if I remember, except I actually called it Who Are You? Evolution Through Reflection, Finding Your True, Authentic Self. So have you found you've lost yourself? That doesn't even make sense, does it? Have you found you lost yourself? So sometimes we forget who we are. We're so busy being everything else to everyone else. And I have found that the more that we actually understand that feelings come from thought in the moment, understand this psychological paradigm, that we actually spend more time being our true authentic self. And research actually has shown that with this understanding, that is one of the outcomes, is that we really do reconnect with who we are, how Allah created us. He created each and every one of us perfect, just the way we are, with a purpose and with certain strengths and certain weaknesses. And that's perfect just the way it is. We're not perfect in our behavior and our manner, and that's certainly something that we all need to consistently work on. But in terms of who we are, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us, so that's brilliant. There was a time, however, when I totally lost sight of who I was. I had really no idea who I was anymore. And that was after a very, very difficult marriage. I had been through so many years of suffering. You are lazy, you are selfish, you are this, you are that, all those you are words, right? And in the end, it was like I obviously started to buy into it and lose track of who I really was. So today I want to unpack that for you, because we all have some element of that going on, where we're buying into or believing or getting emotionally invested in what someone else might say about us. And that is where the problem lies. The problem lies in the story that we tell around what has been said, rather than actually understand it to be that person's reality and not necessarily the truth or anything remotely like our own reality. So people can say to me, you are this, you are that, you are whatever now, and I will stop, and for a moment I'll think, well, am I? Because there could be some truth in it, and if there is, then perhaps there's something I need to do. But often it isn't, and I just let it go. It's just like water running off a raincoat or water running off an umbrella. It doesn't sink in. So what's actually going on? It's really quite simple. We are actually our own separate realities. The fact that you're living through your thinking in the moment and I'm living through my thinking in the moment means that both of us are living different experiences of this moment. Even if we're both experiencing the same thing, even if we're both witnessing the same thing happening, we're both experiencing it through our own thought. That means that we both have a separate reality. So anybody who says to us, you're this or you're that, number one, remember that they're basing that on a small snippet of what they know of you. Even the closest people who know you don't know everything about you. So there's a bunch of assumptions already that's going on in their mind, where they're filling in the blanks of what they don't know with what they've assumed. So do you think it's really a good idea to buy into and believe automatically when someone says you are this, given that they actually don't know you completely? They know a part of you. So that's one question to challenge what's going on there. There's another side of it too, is sometimes people say those things when they're mad, when they want to lash out and they want to hurt back, or something's going on for them. They don't actually mean it. But in that moment, they're just saying it because they're hurt and they're wanting to hurt. And they're not necessarily really wanting to hurt us, to be honest. They're just hurt. And so they're not thinking straight. They're not behaving the way they are meant to behave. But what happens is we hear those words and we think in that moment they're telling us that's the truth about what they think of us, and we hold on to it. Now that person, it's gone, and they continue to think about us in the way that they always have. But we've caught onto this idea, this is how they really think about us because they said this, right? And we hold on to that thought, and that's how our experience becomes one of feeling hurt, disappointed, and we start to lose ourselves through believing what other people say. So it could be bosses, teachers, friends, family. There's so many different people who may be in the habit of telling us who we are based upon what they've decided we are. And when we've bought into that story or bought into what they're saying, their reality of us, we start losing our true, authentic self. And all it is again, it's thought in the moment. You're going to start going, that's all she talks about, thought in the moment. We're still just living in thought in the moment, that our thinking we have taken on that belief or decided that there must be something true about it, and now we're believing that that is who we are. Now, people who are close to us or people who are very observant and connecting may notice things in us and may be able to share with us things that where we're not on the right track, where we might be doing something that's displeasing to Allah, or notice something about our behavior that makes others uncomfortable or makes relationships difficult. And if they speak to us about those things, they'll come to us properly. They'll come to us in a proper discussion. And we have the opportunity then to either reject what they say, or we have the opportunity to take it in and just feel depressed about it. Or we have the opportunity to look at it and go, okay, yeah, there's some truth in that. There's some things where there's some assumptions too, where there's the truth. Okay, that's something I need to work on. Let's make dua to Allah and start that journey. SubhanAllah. And that's what it boils down to, really, is we buy into the story of what people say about us. They say to us. What's even worse is when we are making assumptions that they're thinking certain things about us, and in fact we don't have any evidence to support that. That's even worse, because we've completely made that one up in our heads. And in the process we've lost ourselves. So when that thinking falls away, guess what happens? Our true authentic self is able to shine again, and that's all that has to happen, is that all that thinking that is in the way falls away, and you're there. You hadn't gone anywhere. You never left, but you got covered up in all these other thoughts. And so you shed those, and there you are. Alhamdulillah. Beautiful as ever. So I promised yesterday and the day before that today I'll share with you a way in which you can learn more about this, how you can become your authentic self. In fact, the program I want to share with you, the last module, is all about you and being you. But we go through a process where, if you found these videos enlightening, we get deeper in the program, and I start showing you how you can actually see things differently. understand more about what it means these feelings come from thought in the moment and how it's playing a role in our life, both emotionally and spiritually, so that you can actually have fearless confidence. And I call it fearless confidence because the fear of Allah's creation tends to fall away. And so we just automatically are our confident self. We were born confident. Just look at little kids. We were born resilient. We were born patient. We were born persistent. All of these attributes were already in us at the beginning. You just have to look at a little child and the way they persevere towards being able to walk and talk, and to just their natural innate self, that if they're not suffering from a diaper problem or a hunger problem or a lack of sleep problem, that they're absolutely delightful and they're persistent in their learning and motivated always to move forward. That is our innate state. We don't need to find that, build that, or what all the different kind of busy doing things for us to be like that. We just need to understand that our feelings are coming from thought in the moment, and that's the only barrier to that. So our natural confidence comes forward, our innate resilience comes forward, that we're able to have effortless patience with that first strike of calamity, the inner peace and the inner calm inside, that we're able to navigate all the tests and challenges that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends us with the composure that a true believer has. Now, this doesn't mean we don't have emotions. It means that we are taking ourselves to account around our behavior, that our emotions don't lead us to behaving in a way that's displeasing to Allah. And so this is what this program is all about. It's called Peaceful Hearts, and it's all based around in the remembrance of Allah to hearts find rest. In this video series, I'm sure you've heard me say that a number of times already. I didn't have the time yesterday to finish putting the link together, so I'm not even going to share with you a link today, but I did promise I was going to tell you about it. So inshallah, make dua that I have time today to finish it off so that I can share with you the link tomorrow so you can take a look at it. Take a look at what's included, what's involved. Take a look at the stories of other sisters who've been through the program and how it has changed things for them. I am really looking forward to actually working with a whole new group of Muslims ready to have that emotional and spiritual resilience. And now is the perfect time. We are going to enter into Ramadan, and we're going to need to have our own spiritual resilience in Ramadan, because we're not going to have the usual routines, the usual rituals, Ramadan rituals, to keep us on track. We're going to have to do that ourselves. So this program is in perfect time for you to learn more about yourself, your purpose, the reason why Allah created you, so that you can shine this Ramadan, inshallah. So, but you're going to have to wait for the link until tomorrow to find out more about it, unfortunately, because it was not written for me to have it ready for you today, alhamdulillah. I have an assignment for uni due, and that had to take priority, and it took a lot longer than I expected, and I didn't have time to finish everything I needed to finish to be able to share it with you today. So my apologies for that. But I still did fulfill my promise to you to share with you what the program is about, what you can expect out of it. And I can't wait for you to hear the stories of other sisters who've been through it when I share with you the link tomorrow, inshallah, to hear how profoundly things can change in such a short amount of time with this understanding. And that has been my experience too, alhamdulillah. If you have actually felt that I am here in an authentic and genuine manner, it is because I am. Because I don't have I don't have anything to hide. There's no reason for me to have a mask anymore. I'm not perfect, but I understand my weaknesses, and I know sometimes I'll slip up, but I know Allah's already told us what to do about that. So alhamdulillah, that's fine. I do my best not to. And I show up each session actually not entirely knowing what I'm going to share with you, but relying upon Allah to guide my words. I pre-wrote my topics, but I didn't pre-write my words. And that is what happens when you find yourself and your true authentic self through that beautiful connection with Allah. And that's what Peaceful Hearts is all about. You can be you with anyone and everyone. You don't need to be different people with different people, alhamdulillah. And being the people pleaser that I was, that is a huge relief. I didn't realize how much I was sacrificing myself and who I am and my own values as well in order to please Allah, please, you see, I want to say to please Allah, because that's what we're meant to please others. Instead of pleasing Allah, that's the problem that we have. If we're not pleasing Allah, we're focusing on pleasing others. I finished my working on my assignment around 2:00 in the morning, so the brain is again a bit foggy this morning. See, weaknesses and all, flaws and all, authentically myself in front of you. And I don't mind, because I know we're all human, and if you can't see past my flaws, then you're probably struggling to see past others' flaws, and you're probably struggling in life. So that's another good reason to join my program, because then I'll help you with that, inshallah. Anyway, being your authentic self is the only way to be. We are who we are. We are who Allah created us. We're beautiful just the way we are. Yes, we can show up better. Yes, we can do better in terms of our worship of Allah. But we are beautiful just the way we are. We are perfect the way Allah created us. And I want each and every one of you to believe that and feel that too, and feel how awesome it is to be able to show up and be your authentic self every time, inshallah.